Hey there, this strategy is called the Macro Muta, and it's unbeatable. So try it on, let me know what you think. Obviously, we are both noobs. I'm in silver and gold leagues. Weenus is in bronze, silver, and gold as well. And we're beating people who are, these guys I'm not sure where they're at, but we're beating diamond leaguers all the time with this strategy. So individually, these guys would both probably kick our ass. I'm going to speed it up a bit. But in this game, we ruin them like we've ruined pretty much everybody we played this strategy against. So we've played about 10 games in a row, Weenus and I, and we've won at least 9 of those, maybe lost 1 because we were still new at it. My other partner that I do this with, we've won even more. We've won like up to 35. I'm going to try to kill this guy, it doesn't work. So first what I do is the Protoss player harasses in the beginning, he scouts, he makes sure that whatever the first units that pop out are going to be occupied with the Protoss player. So this probe's going to stay in their base. Now you can be adaptive. Since I dropped my forge first, if for some reason they leave me alone, then I'll do a little cannon rush, I'll do a little cheese that way, near enough to their base just to slow them down even more. But since they do follow me around in this one, I'm going to just annoy them, be here to annoy them to make sure those first Marines need to follow me around. Meanwhile, my friend sends out a drone in each direction, if you see that. They're going to just kind of sit at these expansions and wait. So that's the second part of our strategy, is the macro part. The first part is the micro muta part. This strategy is all about specialization in the division of labor. So this asshole went and built a gas thing. That's fine. I'm just going to kill his actual unit. I think I scare him into my cannons. Yep. At any rate, we have not been convinced that there's any strategies out there that will beat this if you do it right. Right now it's the 5-minute and 15-second mark, so that means we can trade resources at 5 minutes. So I'm giving him all my resources, all my extra resources. I'm making a pretty substantial wall. This wall is not meant to kill every unit they have. If they do attack at about the 7-minute mark, they usually can have a substantial army, and it could probably beat this wall, which you'll see in this game it sure does. But the point is, it takes them a while to do that, and by the time they're done doing that, my mutas have already ruined them or are ruining them, and we've already have these expansions going. So in this game, a few things are a little different. One, we just have a spire up. He went ahead and dropped his expansions only because he had several extra resources. Right now he has 300 resources, but you see his resource collection rate, it's going up so fast. That's because I'm giving him all my minerals. So he lets me know there's 5 coming. That means he's got 5 mutas for me. I'm just going to kind of follow them and show you the micro. Since I'm specializing in micro, I'm controlling his units. I can be extremely effective with these units. So in this case, I see these guys coming. I'm going to choose to take out the Marines, so then I can just fight units that can't attack in the air. So this was a decision. Usually we don't do this. Usually I go straight for his base, even though he has that Viking. I went ahead and did this just to give my buddy even more time for his spine crawlers to pop up. You see all those spine crawlers he just made, and you'll see why that's important in a second. Not necessarily to kill all his units, but if the opponent does come over, it will slow him down. And like I said, he has plenty of minerals because I'm giving him all my minerals. Now that I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and squash his small resistance. And they do have a Viking, so I'm not going to mess with it too hard. They did kill more mutas than I usually would like. But the goal of this strategy is not to go in and kill them immediately. It's to apply enough pressure to harass often enough and to macro up enough to where if you keep them in their base, then you'll win just on the macro level. So in this case, I'm just annoying them, keeping them in their base, keeping them defending, taking out shit all the time. Meanwhile, he's got 2 bases that are pumping out crazy amounts of minerals, and he's going to start pumping out mutas at a really fast rate. So right now I have that many mutas, even more now, and I'm just going to be engaging all of his anti-air units because only one guy is making Vikings. Maybe they both are by now, I'm not sure. It looks like only one guy's making Vikings, one guy's making a bunch of Marines. They're both great counters to mutas. They're both the optimal units that you want against mutas, but since I have so many mutas and mutas are so fast, I can still be a total dick and ruin him. So I'm ruining economies all the time. That's what I do. And I'm also going to do things like at this point I realize that he's not coming after me with his actually he is still coming after me with his full force. I'm going to get out of there. Just going to keep him busy, annoy him, piss him off. He has put up towers in his base. That's a little harder to deal with, but if you have enough mutas you can one-shot towers, so I'm just going to make sure I have enough units. I almost have, once you have a full tab of mutas, you can pretty much one-shot towers, or at least they're worth it. But I'm just going to keep checking his expansions. That's the goal, just to keep checking his expansions to make sure that even though he has those units right there, they're not nearly enough to deal with my mutas. So this strategy is so effective for a few reasons. If they split up their army, then I can kill them, because they have to keep their army together for them to defend successfully. If they don't split up their army, then I can stop them from expanding, because they can't protect their expansions. So either they split up their army and it's easy because we just kill them, or they don't split up their army and we just make sure that we kill all their expansions. One thing that always happens to us, and it's the best thing possible, is people try to base trade us. They decide at a certain point, which is about to happen, I think, in this game, they decide, okay, well, we can't keep doing this because we can't expand, we don't have minerals coming. So they decide to base trade. But since we have so many bases out there, it's just really not going to work for them. So now I have a crap load of mutas. I have 2 tabs. I'll almost have 2 tabs full after I get these other guys. Let me see here. Yeah, a tab and a half full, and I'm able to. You know, now he did get an expansion down, but it's not quite built, and I saw that, so I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back in a second and ruin that. For now, I'm telling him to go ahead and expand there and there to really make sure that we have the macro advantage. If you look at his minerals right now, it's absurd. He's got $6,000, 6,000 minerals, and I mean, he can build spine crawlers for days, so we've already out-macroed them completely. If you look at their minerals, he has 124. The other guy has 25. So because of our harassment and because of our constant expansion stopping, we've completely neutered them. Now I'm going to go ahead and take out any anti-air I see, which is why you see me going for starports. I should also take out factories, because Thors are actually the best counter to this strategy. Usually we get there fast enough before Thors are even a speck in their daddy's eye. So, and I'm not going to engage a bunch of Marines all at once, even though I could take that group. I'm sure I could. Instead, I'm just going to continue to do my thing. Now, this guy does have an expansion down. Let's look at his minerals. He's got a bunch of minerals. He was able to mule a bunch of minerals. I do make a mistake there. I lose quite a bit of mutas, but I have so many of them, I just got reckless. Let's see, I have almost 2 tabs full. So I'm going to continue to go in, take out expansions. Now that we know that they are, in fact, saying, you know, F it, let's go for it, they're going to try this base trade technique. Look at all those spine crawlers. It's just going to, even if it doesn't kill them, which, let's watch, it might not. No, they're gonna ruin those spine crawlers, but it takes them a while, right? It takes them a couple minutes minimum to get through that base. Meanwhile, he's building a crap load of spine crawlers here, bases everywhere. So we completely own the map. I'm killing off the rest of his production. I already killed off all of his minerals. Blue has 1,800 minerals, but he can't spend it on anything. Purple has 200 minerals, but he doesn't have any more coming, and he also can't spend it on anything. So yeah, this is called the Muta Micro, or Muta Macro rather, where one person macros, one person micros. You work together, you specialize, and you rape a lot of people. Like I said, it's very successful for us. Try it on, tell us what you think. Yeah, and that's it. As you'll see here, we'll just kind of kill off the last buildings. These guys held on to the bitter end, but usually people quit pretty early. But yeah, like I said, we're beating diamond players and we're silver, so I'm sure we'll be moving up when the league starts up again. But we've had a lot of success with this. At this point I have a lot of mutas. That's a lot of mutas. So very hard to stop a muta army that big. And so big things to take away in terms of what you need to do as the Protoss player: drop your buddy's gas, wall you and your buddy off. Also, I built a few cannons in my main here just to protect from early Reaper rushes, because we want to keep, I want to be able to fund him resources. And then don't expand, like in this game we expand, he dropped 2 expansions pretty early, but if you can help it, don't expand until the mutas are in the other person's base. That way you know that you'll be able to keep those expansions because their units will be distracted. So that's it. Subscribe, tell us what you think, and thanks for watching.